You see the headlines everywhere, right? Another company laying off thousands of people, and they're all blaming AI. But what if this is just the tip of the iceberg? What if it's the start of a much, much bigger story? Today, we're going to walk through one possible future, a future where artificial intelligence completely reshapes not just our jobs, but our entire society. Look, I know that sounds like clickbait, but it's not. It's actually the starting point for a report that's been making some serious waves inside the AI industry, one that maps out a future that, frankly, none of us are ready for. So let's be super clear about this. What you're about to hear is a scenario. It's a potential timeline, a chain of events that kicks off with a single decision, a decision that could be happening in a boardroom, well, right now. Okay, to really get how this all could unfold, I want you to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Imagine you're a CEO. You've got 1,000 employees, your company's doing great, and then one day, you get a pitch. A very, very tempting pitch. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? An AI agent that can do all the work of an entry-level employee, but for just a fraction of the cost. Now, your more aggressive competitors, they jump on it immediately, replacing most of their junior staff. But you decide to be a little more cautious. So you decide to treat this new AI as a tool, not a full-on replacement. Everything the AI does has to get human approval. But here's the thing. Within just a few months, the AI agents are outperforming most of your human employees. It's a shock. But your board, they just see the numbers. They see that your top performers are now basically just glorified rubber stampers for the AI's work. And they ask a pretty simple question. Why are we still paying all these people? You try to argue, right? You make a case to keep your staff on, humanitarian grounds. But at the end of the quarter, the results are in. Your earnings are up, which is great. But your competitors, the ones who went all in on AI, their earnings are even higher, and their costs are way, way lower. Your stock price drops, and the board makes it crystal clear. Replace the junior staff, or we're going to find a CEO who will. So you compromise. You let go of half your junior employees just to save the other half. And this is where the story pivots. It stops being about a business decision and starts being about a human reality. So let's flip the script and look at the other side of this choice. Let's meet Alice. She's one of the 90% of junior employees who are eventually let go. So she starts looking for a new job, but she quickly finds out that every other company in her field is doing the exact same thing, replacing people with AI. There are just no jobs to be found. And you know what? Alice is not alone. As she's scrolling through the news, the national unemployment rate hits 12%. That's worse than at any point during the Great Recession. And it just keeps climbing, first to 15%. Because now AI isn't just replacing junior staff, it's replacing the middle managers who used to coordinate them. And then it smashes right through 25%. It breaks every historical record we have, including the absolute worst days of the Great Depression. 1 in 4 people are out of work. But get this, on the exact same day that unemployment hits this catastrophic new high, the S&P 500 soars to an all-time record of 5,200. The market is absolutely booming. And this is where the central paradox of this whole scenario just slaps you in the face. AI is creating unbelievable productivity and wealth, but that wealth isn't trickling down, not at all. It's flowing straight to shareholders while human employment just completely collapses. So what happens when a quarter of the population can't find a job? Well, the very fabric of society, it starts to tear apart. Alice decides she has to fight back. She joins protests, she rallies behind this huge idea, Universal Basic Income, or UBI, a monthly payment to every single citizen. It sounds like a lifeline, right? But the political backlash is immediate, and it is fierce. The whole debate pretty much ends when the administration's own AI czar delivers this blunt verdict, just completely shutting down any hope for a government safety net. The message couldn't be clearer. You are on your own. And what follows is just a total cascade of system failures. Media platforms, which are owned by the same corporations making a fortune from AI, start censoring news of the protests. Public schools, no longer needed to train a future workforce, basically crumble into glorified daycare centers. The whole idea of upward mobility, it just vanishes. And remember that CEO from the beginning? Even they eventually become obsolete, replaced by an AI that can run the company flawlessly 24/7. So, what do you even call this? This bizarre phenomenon where a society gets richer and more productive than ever, yet its people become poorer and more powerless. There's a name for it. It's called the intelligence curse.
Now, this idea isn't entirely new. We've actually seen this pattern before with something called the resource curse. Think about countries that are incredibly rich in natural resources, like oil in Venezuela or diamonds in the Congo. On paper, the nation is wealthy, but because all that wealth is concentrated in an industry owned by just a tiny few, the people stay poor.
The intelligence curse is that exact same paradox, just updated for the 21st century. In this future, AI becomes the new oil. It's a resource that can be extracted and controlled by a very small group, concentrating unimaginable wealth and power, and in the process, making human labor economically irrelevant. And when people have no work, they have no bargaining power.
Okay, so this is a really crucial point. Not all AI leads to this future. For example, an AI like AlphaFold is super intelligent, but it's not autonomous or general. It's basically just a powerful tool for scientists. A self-driving car, that's intelligent and autonomous, but it can only do one thing, drive. The real danger comes from that third column, generality. An AI that can do everything a human can do, what some people call artificial general intelligence or AGI, that's the thing that could potentially make our labor worthless.
When you boil it all down, this entire dystopian scenario really rests on just 4 core assumptions. 1. AI will eventually become cheaper than people. 2. Private companies are fundamentally designed to maximize profit. 3. Market competition will force even the most reluctant companies to adopt AI. And 4. Our media and our government are heavily influenced by the corporations and wealthy individuals who fund them.
So, let's just leave it there for a second. Look at those 4 assumptions again. Think about the world we live in today, and think about how much has already changed in just the few short years since tools like ChatGPT came on the scene. The real question isn't whether this future is possible, it's whether we're already on the path to making it real.